who has an Callisto Vault is available for anybody who has an EDU email account from a US-based college or university. At this point, we're simply in the US. This is mostly because when a match is found between survivors, we refer them to attorneys. And the attorneys are US-based, and they talk about what their legal options are at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here so I can show you how Callisto Vault actually works. I'm not going through the sign-up process because that would take a bit too long, I think. There are two main tools in here. There's the matching system and the incident log. I'm not going to talk much about the incident log because the matching system is really the main bread and butter of Callisto Vault. The incident log is just briefly a way for a survivor to record everything that they can recall about the incident in a secure manner. It is stored encrypted on our server, and only they can access it. It's never accessible to anybody else. But the matching system, like I said, is really the bread and butter. A survivor can come in here. They can create a matching entry. The first thing that they do is they tell us what state the incident occurred in. So let's just go with Washington for why not. The next thing that they're able to do is give us identifiers for the offender. Now notice that what we use are social media handles, phone numbers, email address, things like that that are going to be unique for that particular perpetrator. We don't use name because names can be way too common. John Smith, that sort of thing. So just in order to create one really quick, I'll say I'm going to create a Reddit thing. Now, a person can enter up to 10 identifiers for any particular category here, and they can enter into every category or just one like I have done in creating their matching entry. When they're done creating identifiers, then they need to put in some information so that this information is specifically so that the legal options counselor, the attorney I mentioned, will be able to reach out to them later. So I'm just going to put in Recap 2024 as my full name. And I'll use my email address for contacting. Then I get the opportunity to review the entry. We've got two checkboxes here. One is to make sure that they're entering in and matching for themselves. We don't want somebody else entering information for a different person. And second one, this is really important to us. We say we're submitting for review by a legal options counselor who is an attorney provided at no cost to the survivor. This helps us provide attorney-client privilege. This is created specifically to go to an attorney, so therefore it is protected by attorney-client privilege. None of this information can be discoverable. Okay, so I submit the matching entry. When the matching entry is submitted, everything is encrypted in such a way that nobody who works at Callisto can possibly ever recover that information without breaking a lot of really strong encryption. This is deliberate. That way we cannot be subpoenaed in order to provide information. And it also provides privacy protection, not only for the survivor, whom we do not know who the survivor is, but also for the perpetrators. We cannot possibly know who the perpetrators are that are in our system. Where to go from here? Okay, suppose a match occurred. I'm going to jump over to this other portal here. This is for what we call the DLOC. The DLOC is the Director of Legal Options Counselor, and the DLOC is, in fact, a Callisto employee. So we can't have all of the information that was just entered into the matching entry be something that the DLOC can access. But when a match is found, the DLOC is notified. They come in here, they have a new case. This is not the one I just entered. This is just something that was already in here. but they can look at case details. But notice that all we have for the survivor is this random survivor ID. We don't have any other way of identifying the survivor because we don't want to know who the survivor is. And then the other information is here is necessary in order to be able to assign the case to a legal options counselor, which is what this is for right here. And I'll just go ahead and assign this case. So, and if I go back to my dashboard, this is no longer listed as a new case. It's now listed as no contact attempted. Now that's been assigned to a legal options counselor. Let's go ahead and look at what a legal options counselor sees. And again, an LOC is an attorney. An attorney-client privilege is protected at every level. So here's that particular thing. Now I've got the name of the survivor. And in fact, if I go to view the case, I not only have the survivor's name, I have all that contact information for them. And I have the identifiers that were entered for the thing. So the legal options counselor actually can see who the perpetrator is as well as who the survivor is that they're talking to by looking through that information. This is the basic thing that it works. There are a couple things that I want to make sure I touch on. Security-wise, I mentioned that we're protecting the privacy. Part of the way that we protect the privacy for our survivors is that we do not keep any identifying information for them on our server. This includes, by the way, the EDU email address that is used to sign up. We send an email to that and we immediately forget it. So we don't know which account was associated with that email and the email is gone. Usernames are obfuscated using a slow hash function. We need to be able to look up usernames, of course, for when somebody is logging in. The interesting thing is that we don't store passwords at all, not even in an encrypted state. Instead, the password goes through an oblivious pseudo-random function. And from that, we derive a key that then encrypts a key pair that is used for encrypting all of their data. And so in order to log in, they need to have the password so they can develop the key, so they can derive the key from which they're able to then decrypt all of their data. So I'm sorry, I've got something sitting right in the middle of something I'm trying to read here. So another an issue for us was account recovery. Because we don't keep an email address or anything like that for our survivors, we had a lot of trouble figuring out how to do account recovery. One initial solution was to generate some security codes initially for the survivor. The problem is that if they lose those security codes, then they had no way of recovering their account, and we couldn't help them because we have no way of verifying who they are and what their password is or anything like that. So another solution was come up with that uses multi-party computation. I'm not going to get into details on that because a talk a little later by Ryan Little is going to talk about that. So you get to find out how that works. And that is my really fast overview. Did I make it within my time? I think I did.